Hello everybody, welcome back to the Mover Mailbag. It's been a while since I've done one, my apologies. I wanted to do one last week. Man, what a week last week was. So just for those of you that don't know, because I kind of live tweeted this as it was going on, I got a 3090, RTX 3090 Founders Edition, installed that, realized that, yeah, the case that I had probably wasn't the best because about a year ago, I upgraded to a 9900K. It needed a new, by the way, this is going to get super nerdy, so bear with me. It needed a new cooler, but the cooler wouldn't fit, so I mounted it, kind of rigged it outside, but obviously that's a lot of dust. So I'm like, well, if I just spent all this money on a 3090, I might as well get a new case that's nice and has better cooling and all that stuff. Well, if you're going to get a new case, you might as well get a new motherboard. Because it was a 390. So I was like, I'm going to upgrade everything, do it all at once because I got to rebuild the whole thing anyway. I did that, installed everything, worked great. And then 24 hours later, the security software that comes with the Asus Maximus, the Bulldog, corrupted the Windows registry. And I spent, I don't know, probably the first 24 hours trying to fix it, and then the next 2 to 3 days trying to figure out a way to save my data, not have to reinstall Windows, and try to make it better. I failed, and then finally I said, look, I'm just going to do a fresh install, and then I had to spend a couple days getting all my settings back and all that stuff, which I'm sure is still not right. So that's the fiasco. Do have a new, like, full-up computer setup now for the nerd stuff. For those that are always asking about the settings, so it's the Asus ROG Maximus Z590 motherboard. It's an 11900K processor, 128 gigs of 3600 RAM, and then the 3090 Founders Edition. So, I mean, it works okay. Still can't run Microsoft Flight Sim on the full up settings, but it's pretty damn close. Anyway, that's where I've been. That's the fiasco with that. Windows sucks. There's no reason it should have been that painful to lose everything. So, got 2 letters in the mail since then. Haven't been in the post office this week, but last week, and a couple emails. And let's see what you have to say. If you want to send me something, PO Box 8594, Mandeville, Louisiana 70470, or movermailbag@cwnline.com. Let's see what you got. This first one comes from Diana in Tejas. Hello, Mover. I am 12 and have a love for military aviation. I am from New Orleans and want to become a fighter pilot one day, Navy preferably. Quick question. Can a person with autism become a fighter pilot? I am on the spectrum, highly functioning autism, but that doesn't stop me from focusing. I have been a fan for a year now and love your channel. Hornet rules, Fat Amy drools, yours truly. Honestly, I don't know what that says. Here, guys. Focus. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. Ario? P.S. I live in Texas now. Do you think that joining the Civil Air Patrol cadet program would be helpful? Yes, I do. Let's look up the waiver. I'm curious now. Let's go take a look at the waiver guide. Okay, so I looked it up, and honestly, I can't find the answer. It does not specifically mention autism because obviously there's a spectrum and there's different levels and what you can do. Obviously, I looked it up in the Air Force. Let's see what the Navy guide. You said you wanted to be a Navy fighter pilot, so let's look at Navy waiver guide. All right, so I couldn't get the Navy waiver guide, but what I'll say is I think it's going to depend on to what level. And, whether it's controlled by medicine or it needs to be controlled by medicine, or if there's anything, if you're symptomatic or not. I would say if you're highly functional and there's no evidence of it and you're not on any kind of medication stuff, I think your chances are good. You may need a waiver, but, I think if you can demonstrate that You know, you've got excellent communication skills, all the different skills necessary. I think you've got a good shot. But all you can really do is apply and, you know, try, see what happens. You know, get the good grades, get all the stuff you need in line, because that'll help you no matter what, even if you're not a fighter pilot. And make them tell you no. I mean, I hate to, you know, sound like a broken record, but that's what it boils down to is regardless of whether the answer is yes or no right now, you're 12 years old. So, you know, it may change in 10 years. So I would just do everything you can to put yourself in that position. And, you know, I think depending on what the needs of the military are at the time and what the standards are, because obviously the waiver guide is going to change between now and then anyway, I think you might have a good shot. So just do the best you can and put yourself in a position for success. Thank you for the letter. I apologize. I could not read your name. I'm sorry. This comes from Lynn. She says, congratulations on releasing another book. Dedication to your writing is impressive. Thank you for continuing to write. It's also our passion to read your books. I've enjoyed your YouTube channel too. Big change over time from fighter sweep articles. All the best, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. Very sweet of you. Awesome. All right, let's take some emails. First one comes from Stefan. Stumbled onto your channel a while ago. While it hasn't been my sole reason for getting into aviation, it was definitely a big one. Started off buying that new Microsoft Flight Simulator game since it was only $1. What did you get for $1, man? That's awesome. And from there, decided to get a joystick, played a bunch during COVID. After a while, I thought, why the hell am I simulating this when there's a little mom and pop flight school right at my home airport in Amarillo? That first flight was the moment I knew I wanted to fly for a living. Worked on my PPL during the weekends, and now I just quit my job as a federal agent to start flight school full-time next week down in Denton, Texas with US Aviation Academy. Goal is to get my commercial, multi-engine instrument ratings, finish a BS in aviation while I'm there, and one day fly for the airlines. Wanted to give a short letter of appreciation for being part of getting me onto this path that I'm now on. I attached are a couple of keepsakes I took when the aggressors were in town my first day of solo. Oh, yeah. Like VFC 12. Cool. Cool. Well, good luck. Good luck to you, Stefan. I hope it works out. Thank you for all that you do as a federal agent, and good luck to you. I mean, that's a gutsy move, and I like it. I like it. You're going to make them tell you no. All right, this one comes from Tyler. Hi, Mover. Hope you're doing well. I've been watching a lot of your content on YouTube as of late, and I'd first like to say thank you for the very interesting, informative, and entertaining material. I've been thinking for a while about pursuing a career as a fighter pilot, and I was hoping you would be able to offer me some advice and possibly help give me some clarity. A little bit of my background. I'm from right up the road from you in Folsom, Louisiana. Recently graduated college with a 3.62 GPA in geology. That rocks. And I'm currently pursuing an MBA. That's a dad joke. I'm sorry. I don't even have kids. Which I will complete in May of 22. I'm now 22 years old in perfect health, sound of mind. Have never smoked, never done drugs, never had any brushes with the law. I thought initially I wanted to pursue a career in the oil field, but my interests have shifted over time. Is that a geology joke? And I am in the process of exploring what seems interesting and exciting to me. National security and defense, international affairs, military aircraft, and these strange UFO reports that seem to pop up on Tucker Carlson every now and then. Some of my interests which are influencing me. A year ago, a friend of mine whose dad was a colonel in the Air Force was at Elmendorf Air Force Base and sent me a video of the F-22s taking off. I was immediately captivated and began to explore the idea of becoming a fighter pilot. I've been able to talk to two retired fighter pilots since then, one who flew F-4s during the Cold War, another who flew F-18s during the post-9/11 wars. From what I gathered, it is very hard work and extremely taxing on the body, but at the same time very rewarding, exciting, and simply put, awesome. I believe my F-18 friend referred to it as the defining moment of his life. He also referred to his teammates as some of the highest quality, highest character, squared away people you could find. This is a large part of what is attractive to me, the culture. Every single fighter pilot I have seen is incredibly clean-cut, well-spoken, and on top of their stuff. Being on a team with people like that, doing the type of work they do, to me seems like it would be an incredible, gratifying experience. Yes, I would agree with that. I mean, they're the best people I've ever worked with. I mean, it's definitely a cut above. The path I believe I would take, should I pursue this career, would be to apply to either the Virginia or Hawaii Air National Guard to an F-22 squadron, as I, like so many other people I'm sure, completely fascinated with this aircraft Given my situation, my headspace, is there any advice you could offer for me? Is there any advice you can offer me? Are my preconceptions about this career relatively realistic, or am I romanticizing it too much? There are other things I should consider when thinking about doing this for a career. One thing I'd like to gain a little clarity on is the relative safety of the risks involved with being a fighter pilot. How big is the risk of potentially losing my life? They're all questions I am trying to answer as thoroughly as possible in order to get the clearest idea of what this career entails. Apologize for the length of this email. I wanted to give you a fairly complete idea of where I am and my thought process driving all this. That being said, look forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions on this matter. Thank you for your time. Don't chase shiny jets. Everybody wants to fly the F-22. It's great. Don't pigeonhole yourself into one airframe. You don't know what you don't know at this point. Everybody wants the F-22 because, you know, it's great. It's in movies, all that stuff. It is great, but there's only 187 and it's a dying airframe. I mean, that's the bottom line. So, you know, and you're going to have essentially be down to 3 locations you can fly it. Elmendorf, Joint Base Langley, and then Hawaii. I would apply to them. If you want to do that, that's great. If you want to go live in Hawaii, it's very expensive. Also great. Virginia, if they have a UPT board, do that. You live in Louisiana, man. Louisiana boy needs to go apply to the Louisiana Air Guard down at Belle Chase. Find out when they're having a board. Go apply. They're eventually going to get the F-15EX. Stay in Louisiana. That's just me. I would also apply to other units and don't just, you know, stick with fighters. I would apply, just get your pilot slot. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter if you fly fighters or heavies, you're going to fly with high quality individuals. To answer your questions though, yes, you know, I think you're being realistic as far as, you know, you're going to fly with good people, but you're also going to fly with some dirtbags. I mean, it's the same, you know, any profession is going to have awesome people and terrible people. That's just the way it is. Risk of losing your life. Yeah, it's always going to be there. You're flying high performance fighter jets. You've got rockets strapped to your butt. You know, you got an ejection seat that gives you really good odds. You know, if you go fly the F-22, you've got 2 engines. That helps. If you go fly the F-16, we do flame out patterns. We're very good at it, you know, and if we're not, we got an ejection seat that's usually pretty good. That helps. There's always going to be a risk. Doesn't matter what you do. You can die going to work. You know, obviously it's a higher risk situation because we do high intensity stuff. I like that you're trying to go to the Guard. I would just say expand your search volume and don't just look at the F-22. You know, look at some of the other units. Some of the F-35 units are starting to hire. You know, Montgomery's going to go to the F-35. That's, you know, nearby. Realizing on the Guard, you're kind of just going to be living there. You know, and whether they even have full-time positions. Just think about this. You go to Hawaii, they don't have any full-time jobs available. Are you going to be a part-timer in Hawaii? You know, that's a very expensive place to live. What's your backup plan? What's your goal there? So I'd also consider active duty. You know, you can apply to a OCS board, or sorry, an OTS board, or OCS if you go Navy. But I think that it's relatively safe, a lot safer than it used to be, but there's always going to be risk. So I think that, you know, at the end of the day, you just have to make them tell you no, apply where you can, and focus on serving your country and getting those wings more than chasing one aircraft. So just my 2 cents. But good luck to you. Thanks for the email. All right, this comes from Macy. Hello, mover. I'm the 13, now 14-year-old who was in math special ed. I've recently gotten out of it and improving my math skills. Since sending the email a few months ago, I've become the aviation informant on Quora. I've been helping people like who want to be a military pilot, and I enjoy it. I've been putting about 10 to 15 answer requests a day. Several of these people do not have the correct information or have just gotten into aviation. I think some of them watch the infographic show, to be honest. Some questions I answer take a couple days to write because being accurate is important. I like that. I've received a question recently asking if fighter pilots can chew gum in the cockpit, and if so, how they spit it out. I told them I would have to get a more accurate answer. I don't have Facebook nor want it. Sorry for this stupid question. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. You just spit it out on a piece of paper or something. Like, I mean, same thing you do in a car. I wouldn't do it while I'm pulling G's, you know, chance of choking, nobody to give you the Heimlich. But yeah, I knew guys that would dip. Ugh. Yeah. But yeah, you can chew gum in the jet. No big deal. Thanks for the question, Macy. Good job. Good on you for trying to get the accurate information and trying to be correct in what you do. I like that. All right, this comes from Lonnie. Dear Mover, a friend of mine and retired aardvark driver, Michael Stanton, has gone west. Sorry for your loss. Mike was an F-111 pilot who stood the infamous nuclear alert during the dark days of the Cold War. Later in life, Mike went into the information security field and became a community leader there as well. So much so, when he passed last month, they actually had a wake for him at the Idana Hotel in Boise, Idaho. In further remembrance of what Mike stood for, local Boise, Idaho ISSA Information Security Systems Security Association chapter are setting up scholarship in Mike's name. Please help put the word out in your community about the scholarship. It's not military aviation related, but it's a worthy cause and one I have no qualms asking you to look into and to mention if you're comfortable. Mailbag segment at some point. P.S. Mike's call sign was Doc Vark. He was one of the early F-111 drivers in the program, stayed there his entire career. Would have made an interesting interview for you. I'm sorry you won't get that interview. Sincerely, Lonnie. Okay. There you go. It is a cyber scholarship fund for a qualified candidate. So there you go. Is there a link? Yeah, I'll leave the link in the description. Mover, appreciate your series and make them tell you no mindset. While I'm not a pilot, don't think I ever will be or would want to do it for a career. Right now, I'm doing what I love and have a 4.0 GPA going into my senior year of college and starting the CFA finance-related credential. The mindset has helped me trudge through applying, getting denied of dozens of jobs, probably 75 plus at this point. I've suffered from health problems, including significant asthma, Asperger's, and anemia. Might as well just list all the ones that start with an A. In no way should I fly, but living near an F-15CD base has made it where I always wanted to fly in a fighter. What opportunities might I do outside of flying L-39s? I'd like to fly a T-38F5 or something of that nature. Would this be possible? Occasionally I'll fly in smaller planes. More of the bug got me at an early age. Thanks, Greg. So, used to be you could pay, and I think you can actually go outside of the country and like go pay 10 or 20 grand to go fly MiG-29. In the U.S. now, the FAA recently made a ruling changing experimental type certificates, what training is. So in order to ride now, you actually have to be eligible for the type certificate of the aircraft you're going to go fly. At least that's the way I understand their current ruling. So in order to go fly a T-38 or F-5, which there are civilian variants, or an L-39, you'd have to be with an instructor and you'd have to be eligible for that rating, which usually I think is like 750 or 1,000 hours. I forget which one. You'll have to look it up, but you'd have to have the flight time required to make you eligible for it. So you will have to fly a smaller plane, Cessna 172, and get your license at least. You'd have to be, at the very least, a private pilot. I don't know about the hours requirement. That may be different because I know some upset recovery schools and stuff get around that and have deviation authority and all that stuff. But at the very least, you'll need a private pilot's license now. So those are really your only opportunities unless you go out of the country and go fly with like a MiG Flug or something like that, where you fly a MiG-29 or you know, something similar out of the country. So unfortunate. Sorry to hear about you know, not being medically qualified, but I love that you're using the make them tell you no mindset on other stuff. So anyway, well, that'll do it for today's Mover Mailbag. If you want to send me something, P.O. Box 8594, Mandeville, Louisiana 70470. Movermailbag at cwmoine.com, or if you want to email me, not for the mailbag, cwmoine at cwmoine.com. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.